Hello my friends, it's Stogie the Geek here, and for this review we are going to take a look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman vs. Doomsday 2-pack. So this is a Target exclusive. I ordered mine directly from Target, pre-ordered it, and it showed up last week. But yeah, this is a 2-pack featuring Superman and Doomsday. Now this is not the classic Dan Jurgens Death of Superman Doomsday. This is the more New 52 Kenneth, I'll say Rancroft Doomsday, and this actually has the Jim Lee Superman. So not accurate to the Death of Superman storyline, but it is accurate to a comic book version of Doomsday, and I'm totally cool with that. I love this version of Doomsday, so love the choice they made here. Would love to get a classic Doomsday, of course, one day, but nevertheless, I'm still very excited about what we have here. So there's the Kenneth, I think Roncraft. I apologize if I'm not saying his name correctly. That's what his artwork looks like. So looking at it from that perspective, you can already see the figure is pretty close to that style. So anyways, enough rambling. Without further ado, let's take these guys out of the packaging and take a look. Alright, so here are the figures outside of the packaging. First, let's talk about the packaging. So here is the inside of the packaging. As you can see, I didn't remove the cards yet, but there's the trading cards that it comes with. So you have a very classic Death of Superman, tattered cape on the pole. Awesome, love that. I wish the Superman figure had an S on the back of the cape. That would have been nice, but it doesn't, but that's okay. There's the stands it comes with. And then, just overall, I love this little piece, this little diorama. I really wish that you could easily take off these cards and the bases without damaging this back. I know there's ways you can do it and like cut it out or like carefully remove it, but you know, I'm pretty messy, and more often than not I rip it. But I think it would just be really nice if they made it so you could just reuse this beautiful diorama that they obviously spent money on to make, that gets immediately ruined when you remove the trading cards, because this is a really nice diorama. So that's the only thing. That's my only nitpick about the packaging, but love these trading cards. Again, really huge fan of the artist whose art or figure this is based on, and I love this classic piece of Death of Superman iconography. So that is really nice. So there's trading cards, and then here are the figures themselves. So let's get this guy out of the way. So first, let's talk about good old Superman here. So he does come with an extra set of flying hands, which you can see on the flare there, or open hands, so he can fly. And then the figure itself, it is basically the Jim Lee Superman that's using the infected, Superman body, just a different face sculpt, and then the tattered up, bruised up, beaten up costume. So I love the colors, love the vibrancy of this. I like what they're trying to do here with replicating him fighting Doomsday. Definitely not comic accurate, just because number one, doesn't have the S on the back of the cape, and then just the art style itself. Jim Lee did not draw the Death of Superman, so this is definitely not based on Dan Jurgens or any of those guys from the classic 90s storylines art. But just as a Superman, battle damaged Superman, I dig this figure. I love the claw marks there, the scruff on the costume. I think this works just for a very nice, beaten up looking Superman. I was about to say I wish there was more blood on the figure, and you do get some blood on the mask, but I didn't want to make it too over the top. DC Direct actually did a Superman Doomsday 2-pack from the DC Icons line, and man, they had a bloodied up version of that figure. It was way more comic accurate, but man, it was a little over the top. It had a head sculpt with his eyes closed, and it was just, man, this is a dark figure. So it was great, but man, it was dark. So I'm happy with this. I like this figure. This buck I know has been reused a lot, this body. So it works, though. It's a great body, so I see why they keep using it. But I definitely would love to see a new version of Superman, just because it's nice to see different variations. So there you go. So overall, I'm not going to go too deep into this figure. You guys know what this figure does. It's been used a bunch of times. But yeah, I think overall it's a nice, bruiser-looking Superman. I do wish I had gone the stands out of the box, because, yeah, let's try to get him to stand. Might not happen. Let's just let him fall there. There you go. All right, now on to the main event. We have Doomsday. So your, opinion on this is going to be very influenced by whether you like the art style of this figure. I love it. Again, I love the artist. Kenneth Radcroft, I think is his name. I love his art style. I love how he drew Doomsday in the comics. So I'm totally happy with this. I have a very classic looking Doomsday from Mattel, so I'm fine with that. I totally get it if you'd want more of a classic looking Doomsday. But for me, man, this is just a beautiful Doomsday figure. You can tell that they repurposed the Devastator figure, the top portion of it anyways. So, and that's fine. I wish, that's a beautiful figure, the Devastator they did. So it makes sense that they reuse some of the parts. There's the mouth that opens. There's his little man bun he's got going up there. Looks great. Man, this is just a beautifully sculpted figure. Articulation's good. He moves around. A little tight on the joints here, honestly. I don't want to snap it. I might need to boil that, but it's just really tight on the knee there. But other than that, he moves around nicely. You do have some limited articulation of the shoulder just because of the spikes sticking out. Spikes are super soft. But overall, this is just a beautiful figure, and it's going to look awesome on the shelf. So there he is. A great paint job. Excuse me. A great paint job as well. All right, let's take a look and see how these figures look next to some other McFarlane figures. All right, so here is Doomsday and Superman next to Bane and Batman, Nightfall, Bane, and Batman. So you can see Doomsday is about as tall as Bane. And yeah, so there you go. I definitely think this Bane is a little too big. Love it. It's an amazing Bane figure, but I think he should not be as tall. Bane should not be as big as Doomsday. If this guy was just a smidgen smaller, he would have been perfect, and he is perfect. But you know what I mean. I think Doomsday scales really well with Superman and Batman. I think he should be this big. I don't know if he was depicted this big in the comic books in the original Death of Superman storyline. I don't think so, but still, I think his size works for he's Doomsday. He should be that big. But yeah, so there he is next to Bane and Batman. So overall, I love this set. I love this Doomsday. It just does it for me. It's gonna look great on the shelf. Beautiful design. I love everything about this figure. So that's my opinion. I know it's not a classic looking Doomsday, but man, it is a sick looking Doomsday in my opinion. As always, I'll be doing more content over on my Instagram channel, Ahsoka the Geek. So please follow me there to see more comparisons, reels, and more content about this figure and all of McFarlane Toys DC figures. That's about it. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great evening. Or morning, day, afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Take care.